You talking to me?
Goonies never say die!
What's in the box?
Just what do you think you're doing there?
Hi everybody, welcome to Big Bang Cinema. My name is Isaac Bad Boy for Life Anderson.
I am Tyler. What you gonna do? What you gonna do, Keen?
And this is a movie show where we talk about movie news.
Movie reviews.
And every single thing in between. Guys, thank you so much for watching. We got a really good show ahead of us.
Oh, I'm ready for this.
I'm ready for it too. You know why?
Because I think Warner Brothers and Bad Robot are doing something together now.
Well, I was going to say We Bad Boys.
Oh, we's bad for life. For life.
That's the name of the movie we're watching. Okay, but anyway, guys, time for movie news. Exactly what Tyler said. So, Tyler, tell us a little bit about our first news topic.
We
You already
got,
started. So.
Justice League Dark. Justice League Dark it's a Justice League team where it's the creepy.
Well, tell everybody what exactly, like, why are we talking about Justice League Dark?
Because it's getting a movie.
Okay, from who?
From J.J. Abrams.
Bad Robot. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's pretty much the creepy heroes that are a little too intense to be in with the Justice League. Like if they were in there, that you have to push your R for it.
Okay.
Like you had like demons and dark wizards and dead people and zombies. And
I like it.
So yeah.
Sounds like my house on a Friday night.
But I think most everybody could probably recognize this dude. That's John Constantine.
Mm-hmm.
You know, from Keanu Reeves and.
Yeah, I know.
And I think
I don't live under a rock.
Indragon the demon and
Of course.
Deadman and.
I know. Yeah, I know them.
Yeah, the guy's a ghost. So it's like, and he died violently. So like it's.
I mean, haven't we all?
It's kind of like if Guillermo del Toro had to make a superhero team that wasn't holiday oriented, it would have been this.
That's a good one.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Like the first.
The Rise of the Guardians.
Oh. Yeah, I never saw that movie.
Yeah.
I was thinking you were talking about.
No one
Hellboy.
else did. That's why there's only one.
Yeah, you're probably right. But Tyler, what do you think about this news?
Conflicted.
Conflicted. And wait, what's some positives and like what's some really big drawbacks you think?
It's going to be it's not well-known heroes. I'm gonna say that now.
Well, I mean, neither was Guardians of the Galaxy. J.J. Abrams was waving at us just there.
Oh, it was J.J. Where did he go?
Well, he left, but continue on your thoughts.
I'm not so cool with J.J. Abrams helming this because I hope he's not writing it.
Well,
that'll be a shame if he writes it because he's
the Bad Robot team is usually J.J. Abrams, Alex Kurtzman, and Robert Orci, I think. But I think he's just going to be involved on the producer side. I don't think he's going to direct it or anything like that. But his shadow looms heavy over Bad Robot Productions. And I don't know, the way you describe it makes it sound really interesting. This is the kind of thing that really goes well whenever you kind of have this thing happen in the cinematic world. I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy wasn't very popular, Iron Man wasn't that popular, and some really dark stuff like Logan's come out, Deadpool's come out, and people have really been taking a risk, and the New Mutants is coming out too. And that's supposed to be an R-rated kind of really horror-driven kind of thing. So, I'm interested to see where this is going to go, nonetheless, but Bad Robot has me a little weary about the content of it. But any final thoughts on this before we go on, Tyler?
Is it a go or is it a Ruber?
It is a go, because it's bad.
No,
For Life Boy. You see what we did there? We switched it around. Smart.
Yes, we did.
Speaking about switching things around, Hugo Weaving has come out and said something about Disney, so most likely he won't work in Hollywood anymore, but he didn't return his Red Skull because they wouldn't be paying him the money he didn't want now. You know what I'm saying? I hope you do. Tyler, what do you think about this? Like, he said basically, like, he tried to negotiate with Disney. It's like, hey, I want to get paid for this because it's an iconic character. And they were like, it was like arguing with a brick wall. He's like, it was one of the most, like, saddening things. He's like, it broke my heart not to come back as that character. The very memorable Red Skull.
Well, I can remember he had an interview right after the first movie come out where he said he hated doing it. He hated the makeup process. He hated the character. He thought the movie itself and the Marvel movies are just not good movies.
Yeah.
So I mean, I wonder. I got a feeling that really factors into why he wasn't asked to come back.
I have a really strong feeling that too, and I was going to mention that, but he was like, yeah, it really just made me upset and sad that like they would never want to negotiate. I mean, granted, in case you don't know who Hugo Weaving is, Hugo Weaving is like he's a really popular sci-fi actor. He's been in the Lord of the Rings movies. He's been in the Matrix movies. He played Agent Smith. What?
Megatron.
Megatron. He's Megatron too. He's the voice of Megatron, and he's also the Red Skull from Captain America: The First Avenger. And if you notice, the other guy that plays him in Avengers Infinity War, that is not him, and he's wearing so much makeup that you couldn't really tell. That's the guy from The Walking Dead.
The one who could do
Ross
it.
Marquand?
And he got real famous not too long ago for doing micro impersonations of actors that were dead on.
Yes.
And he did a really good Hugo Weaving. They called him on to do the voice for the character.
So it made sense. I thought he did a pretty good job, but like, do you think this is like a legitimate, or do you think this is just a cop out of like, oh, they didn't want me back?
Cop out.
Cop out? Just straight up cop. You don't have any sort of faith in that this was like a pure money dispute?
I really don't think this is. I think it was a little bit of both.
I think it was. He probably looks at it like, oh, they didn't want to pay me, and they look at it like, well, you trash talk our movie.
Well, Disney never forgets.
Yeah, Disney. You're just right.
Disney never forgets.
Mickey's gonna come in there and like kick you in the stomach and go, huh?
See, I got a feeling he trash talked this, and he didn't think it was going to be as big as it turned out to be.
Mm-hmm.
And
Boy, was he wrong.
Yeah, because I mean, these actors are getting $40-50 million a movie.
So now he's going to be Hugo Weaving himself a new application to P.F. Chang's?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, he's going to be... Sorry, I'm going to try a better one. You ready? You saying he's going to be Hugo Weaving the acting world?
No, it's not a good one either.
Weaving the...
No.
Think about it. Just think about it.
No.
Andrew's giving me a big old thumbs down. Leaving! It's leaving the acting world. Weaving! Boo! Okay.
All I can say about that, he's probably going to be calling like the Wachowskis, and no one is Smith. Is he going to be? Is he going to be in the new?
In the Agent Smith? He'll come back in some way. He'll be like a computer program or something like that. He'll be like in a Captain America when the dude, you could tell he's so memorable in my mind, was on the computer. It's like, I turned myself into a computer system. Whoa! Yep, there he is.
You're talking about Tron, right?
Yep. What do you say?
Tron.
No.
I'm confused. You got me
on
confused.
Captain America, the Winter Soldier, when the guy puts himself in the computer.
Oh yeah, Arnim Zola. I remember that.
How do you remember this guy's name?
Because I read like 30 years of the comic books.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, you are 57 years old, so I mean, you've had quite a long time to catch these things up. But any final thoughts on this before we go on?
I would say don't take a lot of actors' complaints seriously.
That is right. So, I'm trying to think of another actor complaint. That, didn't you say that the movie Honey Boy was like basically just Shia LaBeouf saying, "It's not my fault that I'm crazy"?
Yeah, it's not my fault that I'm crazy. It's not my fault. It's my dad's fault. It's the studio's fault.
That was a big movie as an excuse.
It is. He goes. It's not my fault that I bit that guy's face when I was protesting in front of the.
That's beyond the point. We don't want to get down a rabbit hole. I just thought that was interesting because actors' complaints usually always have a little bit more to it. But speaking of having a little bit more to it, Richard Stanley is apparently making an entire Lovecraft trilogy, and it's going to involve that guy, Nicolas Cage.
You know who I would have loved to direct the trilogy of this Lovecraft movies?
Richard Stanley?
No, it would be
well, yeah, I could tell you really know this director well.
The Greek guy who did Mandy.
Konstopoulos.
Kostopoulos, was that his name?
Yeah, Panos Cosmatos.
Panos Cosmatos.
I don't even know where that other name came from.
Like, how great if he did like a Lovecraft trilogy.
That would be very, very
original,
very good.
Or Guillermo del Toro.
What, an original Lovecraft story?
Like, not original, like he did a Lovecraft movie, original one that hasn't been done before.
Okay.
Like,
like a Lovecraft inspired story.
A story like one of his books that no one has made to a film yet. That no one has made already.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
There's so many Lovecraft movies out there
that just could never been made.
No, yeah, they could have been made, but everybody ignores them. So I feel like he could have done a really pretty good one about it. So could Guillermo del Toro.
Okay, well, what do you think about Richard Stanley helming this thing? I mean, in case you don't know who Richard Stanley is, he's directed a few decent movies, and he also directed The Island of Dr. Moreau, which was like one of the worst movies ever made. But
see, that's the issues I got for it too. I saw The Island of Dr. Moreau, so
yeah, that's right. He's the guy. If you've ever seen Tropic Thunder, he's the guy that's like supposed to be like the director of Tropic Thunder, and he like runs away and goes crazy and everything. He's the inspiration for that. But Richard Stanley, what do you think about him helming this Lovecraft trilogy?
Don't have a lot of faith in it.
Okay, well, why not? Have you seen Colorado Space? We're reviewing it next week, I believe.
No, I haven't, because I haven't seen it at all. Like I was about to ask you what it was.
Colorado Space, it is a movie.
Colorado Space.
That's enough of that. But Colorado Space, the people are calling Colorado
really,
are most certainly in space because certain things are legal there.
Because what I heard is that once you get outside Denver, it's just all space, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Hawaii, Alaska, right next to each other. It's a big conspiracy. Birds aren't real.
Because the only place in Colorado is Denver.
That is right.
It's just empty space.
Yeah, it's literally just like an empty void.
Yes.
It's like the Dark Sea. But I'm pretty excited about this kind of thing. I think from what I've heard about Colorado Space, it's really good. It's coming out in January. Did not let me have any faith in this movie. But I heard the visuals are really good. I heard Nicolas Cage is really good. But we will see so this week. And I'm happy that Richard Stanley's doing okay now. You know, in case you don't know what happened to him, he kind of went nuts and like lived in the woods for 10 years. So interesting. But now he's back. And maybe if this one goes well, he will get 2 more. But any final thoughts on this before we go on, buddy?
I have no thoughts on this.
No thoughts on this. Sexy. Guys, time for a Big Bang Cinema hot take, or short take, whatever we call it. Short take is what I meant. In today's short take, Colin Trevorrow, the guy that made the terrible Book of Henry and almost directed a terrible Star Wars Episode 9, wrote a Star Wars Episode 9 that never got released until now.
And it was slightly better than what I saw.
Slightly better. So you're kind of blocking Mr. Trevorrow's face. Oh, there he is. Oh, hi.
Oh,
there you go. Oh, I like how you kind of look like his long lost cousin. You know, like when you sit that way.
Oh.
Can we look at the camera real fast? Yeah, there you go. Kind of look. Yeah, you look like his little brother that like kind of wants to write. I can do Book of Henry, but worse.
You can't.
You can't do worse than that.
You can't do worse than Book of Henry.
You can't really do worse than Book of Henry. But so Tyler, you read this outline, did you not? Did you read the whole script?
I read most of it.
Okay. So from your understanding, what is in this?
It was kind of a little bit like some of what the fans kind of wanted, and I think there's a
that can be anywhere from multiple lightsabers to like a complete character drama.
The majority of fans would have wanted.
Okay, so just lightsabers.
And there's another part about it too, where I believe it had a more satisfying ending to it than we actually saw. There was no imposing. There was no Rey-Hu. There was none of that. Rey's parents were just 2 people who were trained by Luke, who escaped the killings, and they dropped her off on the planet to protect her.
I feel like that's a better realm. So like, where are our characters at in this movie?
Finn it wants to tell her real bad that he's actually Force sensitive.
Okay.
And at the end, he becomes like he trains at the end with her, and I think her and Kylo Ren, Kylo Ren dies. He does not.
I feel like that's almost every.
Like he dies, but he dies badly. Like he had no redemption.
No redemption. He just stayed evil the whole time.
Evil, and they killed him.
Okay.
And I think at the end there, Rey ends up pretty much becoming the Luke what Luke wanted.
Okay.
And so she becomes like what Luke failed at, and she goes back and trains all those Force sensitive children in the planet, and she on the planet, all the other planets, and she pretty much brings back the Jedi Order without a lot of the restrictions that caused the downfall of the Jedi.
Okay. So overall, a pretty solid arc and everything.
Less Emperor too, no Emperor.
Yeah, let's say I heard he was like a presence in this. I read most of this outline.
He was more like a Force presence.
Yeah, and occasionally you might hear like a little bit of his voice or something like that, and that would be about it.
I think they were trying to bring him back from the dead.
Yeah.
But I gotta say, a lot of it looks like it would have been a better fit. It wouldn't have been great, but it would have been better.
None of these are good. I don't like any of this, but it's better than what we have. It's kind of like saying, well, do I want a sinus infection or a cold? You know what I mean?
Cold.
A cold.
Like, do you want to be stabbed or you want to be shot?
Yeah, exactly. You want to be shot or shot multiple times.
Yeah,
that's a better analogy, I think.
Like, or you want to be shot or you want to be stabbed you and then twist and put it back in. It's just.
Good.
Yeah, I'd take that bullet.
That ain't the Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah,
it's the worst reviewed Star Wars movie on Rotten Tomatoes right now. I don't know if you know that.
Sir, that is not true.
It is. Is that so?
The Clone Wars.
Well, that doesn't count. The saga films. That doesn't exist.
It does
It's
exist.
like birds. But, yeah, and we'll have to explain that to Andrew afterwards. But as far as kind of like what happened, because he wrote the script right before The Last Jedi came out, and like a year before The Last Jedi came out, and a week before Carrie Fisher died. So, story's completely different. Do you think, like, when this, with a script like this, do you think they could have made that even after The Last Jedi and it still would have worked?
Yeah, they could have probably pulled back a lot of Carrie Fisher's parts, or and if they did, they could have like pieced it together from already archived footage. But yeah, I feel like it would have been a whole lot better fit for it. But the only reason why they didn't even go with it is because of Book of Henry.
Yeah, Book of Henry was pretty terrible. I heard he was like a horrible, like arrogant jerk, like on set, because he's like, yeah, you guys know I made like Jurassic World, right? So like, why are you questioning this kind of thing? I heard he was a lot of that kind of thing.
I made the highest grossing mediocre film.
Yeah, guys, I made like Chili's, but like on a big scale. You know what I mean?
They're a big Chili's
Like
burger.
a big Chili's that brings in $1 billion.
One that can go inside of a mall.
Yes, it
Mall.
is the mall.
It is the mall.
It
It's
is the mall.
Chili's.
That is Jurassic World.
Oh,
but
so bad.
it's just a big chili-sized mall, or mall-sized chili. Well, guys, thank you so much for watching so far. Would you rather have one big chili-sized mall or a mall-sized Chili's?
Or a mall full of chili.
Well, I think we all know the answer to this. You can leave a comment at
I
facebook.com
would.
/Studio67NCC. We would love to hear what you guys have to say.
Mall
Otherwise,
full
thank you so
chili.
much for watching so far. I really do appreciate it. When we come back, don't worry. We ain't going to get off the police force because we bad boys.
What you gonna do?
You
for
ruined
life?
it again.
Yeah,
You ruined it again.
for life.
Okay.
For life.
We'll be right back.
What you gonna do?
When it comes to culinary arts, Nash Community College is here to turn your burning passion for food into a career. Our chefs, with over 70 years of highly qualified industry experience, are here to point you in the right direction, teaching and handing down classical culinary techniques that will improve your skills and help you cut your way into the food industry. Gain invaluable experience, vital to cooking and preparing delicious food, served in a personal and creative environment. To learn more about the Culinary Arts program, visit nashcc.edu.
And welcome back, guys. My name is Isaac Mount Everest. This is Real Anderson.
I'm Tyler. Birds don't exist. King.
And hope you're having a good time so far. We saw a movie this week, or what could be only described as a film. It was 2 hours sitting down in the seat watching two men go back and forth about things and watching camera go like this. It was a movie. And that movie was Bad Boys for Life. Tyler, what is Bad Boys for Life about?
It is the sequel to Bad Boys 2.
That's
And
all we need to know.
That's exactly what
That
it
is
is.
all you need to know.
That is absolutely.
It's the sequel to Bad Boys.
You know the plot?
They're Bad Boys for Life.
They're Bad Boys for Life. That's the plot.
That is the plot.
Yes.
So Tyler, what did you think of Bad Boys for Life?
The same thing I thought about Bad Boys at Bad Boys 2. It was the third Bad Boys movie.
Heard that. If you like the other Bad Boys, this most certainly is a film. So that's the way I look at it. But in all seriousness, I did not like this movie.
I thought you wouldn't.
I did not like this movie. I didn't think it was not unwatchable. It was not worst thing I've ever seen. It was just not very. It was very like a forgettable action movie.
So it's a Bad Boys 1 and 2.
Yeah, but aren't those memorable though? Like,
No, I try to remember them, and I get this one, the second one, and the first one all jumbled up in one giant movie.
yeah, it's essentially just like a bunch of like pointless action scenes. So, quick preface: I've never seen any of the Bad Boys films. I watched the first 10 minutes of Bad Boys 1 and the first 10 minutes of Bad Boys 2 when they were like fighting the Klan and like Henry Rollins is there. I saw that, but nothing else.
These were back in the Will Smith golden age.
Yeah.
The one he could throw a movie out and make a half
One
a
was
billion.
in 96 and the other one was in 2004. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So like he come off of like Men in Black, and he had like the Enemy at the State, all this stuff. He was golden. So this movie come out and it was really big because it's a Will Smith movie and he's a cop. And they got Martin Lawrence. Martin Lawrence was pretty much Martin Lawrence's golden age too.
Yeah.
So
he looks like he's really old in this movie. He's like 57. Mm-hmm. I mean he's no spring chicken, and like Will Smith's almost like 50, and like here's the thing about these movies. So like from somebody that has seen these movies, these guys only seem like they're kind of one note. Martin Lawrence is like, is he always the family man that has like a wife that's like nagging him and stuff? And like,
Absolutely. It sounds, you've seen the first one, the second one, haven't you?
and Will Smith's always the guy that's like not willing to settle down with a woman and everything. And like his arc is that he finds a woman.
The good-looking playboy guy who's got a lot of money, and he's constantly turning girls down. Yeah.
Yeah, but then at the end of each movie, does he find a woman?
Yes, like he gets involved with a woman.
That is so. That's this movie.
And then the sequel talks about his ex-girlfriends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I saw these movies already. It's amazing. Well, you just saved me some time and some Michael Bayham.
Well, I'm about to say, like, imagine this with like a lot of Michael Bay shots too.
Well, it did have Michael Bay shots in it. It's the thing.
Yeah.
So, in case you don't know, I do know
He didn't
this.
even direct this one.
Yeah, Michael Bay directed the first Bad Boys and the Bad Boys 2. He makes a cameo in this, and that apparently he directed that scene. Of all scenes you directed the talkiest, most boring scene. Really, Michael Bay?
And I think there was a lot of there's a lot of explosions. Like, if you couldn't understand these movies, there's a lot of explosions. I believe in the second one, within 5 minutes, like 4 or 5 people get exploded. Landmine, rocket. I'm talking about like mist.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
it is crotch shots, below shots.
Yeah, it's
cars,
a lot of, like, the circle
the circle
cameras.
cars driving, and then everybody gets out of the car at a low angle.
Yeah.
And then for some odd reason, there's like
Slow motion.
There's like an extra that walks by, and it's just like right on her butt, and it kind of like watches her walk, and then it goes back to see what's going on. I'm like, Michael Bay filmed this. And then
Michael Bay's image goes well. I've never heard of the directors that directed this. It was like I think it was like a bald guy and a guy with curly hair. I know that doesn't help.
And
the directors, I've never seen anything else they've ever directed. So
I think the guy was like Fatwa.
yeah, it's like a Jewish name, I think.
No, I don't think he was Jewish.
You know,
I think they're from Belgium.
oh, it's a Belgian name then.
It's Belgian.
It's a different name. Let's just put it that way. They're two guys we've never heard of. But the plot of this movie roughly is Martin Lawrence wants to get out the police force because they're both police officers. Will Smith, he's a bad boy for life, and he says it about 58 times throughout the film.
Bad boy
and
for life.
He says the name of the movie in the movie. Did they say that in the other movies too?
Yeah, well, they always say bad boys. We bad boys. And then they would start singing the song, and then like Martin Lawrence didn't know the reggae part, so he would just like mumble through it and go back to doing the bad
That's
boy.
what he does in this movie.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Get some originality, Hollywood. Josh, don't you have integrity for January movies? Please.
Or Will Smith films.
Yeah, Will Smith films. I mean, he only has the creme de quoi of cinema. When I see a Will Smith vehicle now, I know that this is going to be a quality picture.
Suicide Squad.
Suicide
After
Squad?
Earth.
Oh, just
Aladdin.
great. Great. You can just tell he cares so much about the material. And he's a bad boy.
And you could tell he read the script before he even took the job.
And it's totally not an earpiece or him making it up as it goes along. That's good enough.
Or he's making demands to put his children in the film for nepotism.
Yeah. Well, that wasn't in this movie.
was great.
Is this kids in the other movies?
Not that, I don't think they were alive when the other two come out.
That's a good
But
point.
yeah, but if you know, a lot of his other films got his kids in it.
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, so throughout the movie, Will Smith gets shot at the beginning of the movie.
He
Slight
gets shot.
spoilers for Bad Boys for Life in case you're going to be like shocked if I tell you any of these things.
Well, the running joke was in the sequel, the second one, that Martin Lawrence got shot right in his butt cheeks. So like
it's funny because that's like his behind.
yeah, so like he has to sit on a donut and he spends the whole film complaining about being shot in the butt, and he's blaming Mike for getting shot in the butt. So that they have a lot of people think there is there are a lot of crude Michael Bay homosexual jokes aimed around him getting shot in the butt.
Michael Bay has tasteless homosexual jokes? Mm-hmm. What are you saying? This has never happened in any of his films.
Yes.
I mean, remember the gay hairdresser in The Rock?
Absolutely.
Just that does not age well at all. But that's beyond the point. We can't keep talking about Michael Bay and his Bayhamness. But it is very much like this. This is a little bit more of a progressive film. They only show Vanessa Hudgens in a bikini in shadow, so they had some restraint. Considering this
Michael Bay didn't direct this.
Michael Bay didn't direct this. I mean, they had like one of the most gorgeous actresses and like probably one of the most like semi well known with like the younger crew, like Vanessa Hudgens. Yeah, and she says maybe 4 lines throughout the movie, and then she just kind of stands there looking nice. So.
Fun fact, at the Michael Bay films, the women have very little dialogue.
Yeah, it's almost like he doesn't care about their characters and he just wants them there for exploitation. But that's alleged, but it's totally true in my opinion. But yeah, the whole movie is very it's very repetitive. This is my biggest problem with the movie. Talking about like structure of the movie, and we'll end after this. Was there's constantly scenes. There's a screenwriting thing that says if you never tell the audience something that they already know, and constantly throughout this movie, after Will Smith gets shot, essentially it just cuts to 6 months later. He's perfectly fine. It's almost like it didn't happen. But Martin Lawrence is like, I'm retired, and then Will Smith goes up to him and says, "You can't be retired. We're bad boys for life." And that's like at least 8 of the scenes in like the first hour and a half of the movie. And also there's like a guy trying to kill him, and like his mother was involved with Will Smith, and it's essentially the same plot as Gemini Man about halfway through. Like I even thought the fight looked like Gemini Man.
Oh, I forgot all about Gemini Man.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, spoiler alert in case you're like really concerned about this character in Bad Boys. Will Smith's character hooked up with a witch and had a child with them, and apparently his name was like Carl or something like that beforehand, or something silly. And
No, it was Carlos. It was something like that.
I don't know. And also, like, he had a Hispanic child that, that he didn't look like any sort of biological relations. Although they kind of like CGI his face, like, because at the very end he's choking him, and he looks in the mirror and it kind of looks like Will Smith because his face is kind of going all weird and everything. I'm just like, how does that work? I'm like, I don't know. If this biological kid don't look anything like Will Smith, he's like, that's beyond the point. Whatever, it's a movie.
Then he goes to Mexico.
Yeah, then he goes to Mexico, and then they try to set up the sequel, and he's like in the Dr. Evil prison from Goldmember, and he's like, I feel like we can team up for Bad Boys, for seniorosity or whatever it's going to be called next.
Bad Boys 4-4.
4-4.
Bad Boys 4-4. No.
We'll work on these titles. These titles suck.
Bad Boys 4.
But the movie will too. Bad Boy 4. It's just going to be Bad Boy, just one. But guys, this movie is about what I expected to be. If you want to see some bland action scenes, like I'd watch a cut on YouTube of maybe like the 20-minute of fight scenes and skip all the rest of the garbage because it's literally just a bunch of scenes of them talking. I'm going to give this movie a 3.5 out of 10.
Come on, man. I give at least a 5 out of 10.
Okay. Yeah.
Because
it was sort of funny sometimes.
It kind of brought back like the long forgotten 2000s, the late 90s, 2000s, those jokes and the humor that had long since been dead.
Yeah, and it's a reason why it's dead.
Yeah.
But I think partly it's because I didn't see the other ones. And the words of from the guy in Hot Fuzz, "You've never seen Bad Boys 2?"
It kind of banked off the first two. That's what's the nostalgia from the first two.
Oh, I figured it did. But guys, what did you think about Bad Boys for Life? Did you enjoy it? Did you watch any other Bad Boys films? That'll probably change my opinion if I watch the other Bad Boys films. But leave a comment at facebook.com/studio67ncc. We'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Thank you guys so much for watching. Really do appreciate it. Next week, we're reviewing the H.P. Lovecraft
Colorado Space.
Colorado Space. It's Color Out of Space, but it's close. Starring Mr. Nicolas Cage. So hopefully we'll see some really crazy Nicolas Cage scenes. Hopefully he isn't acting like he's on Ambien.
I remember my teacher always told me not to color out of space.
Color Out of Space?
Yeah, because you had to stay in the line. I remember that.
You are a smart boy.
Yes, and I did it. I got
Tyler's going to graduate this year, hopefully. So
I doubt it. I just come from my
That's not
class.
good.
I doubt I graduate this year.
All right. Well, guys, thank you so much for watching. My name is Isaac Bad Boy for Life Anderson.
I'm Tyler.
Nothing? No nickname? Just
what
Tyler?
you going to do, Keen?
Okay. Well, stay lovely, guys. Have a good week.
Oh, that was such a bad movie.